got to work like crazy. This one doesn't have to work at all, and these ones still barely have to work, right? So if you even barely tip your head forward, you have a muscle that goes all the way from here, runs right up the whole spine and attaches to your ears. So you barely tip forward, it's going to engage that muscle. It's going to, what's it going to do? Stack 206 of these up in the air, and every one of them has a joint in between it. How do you hold all those in balance? Right? Yeah. You got to fluctuate in every move you make to always stay in balance. But if you attach something that went off like this, it would instantly tip over. So you'll get a cage on the front of your spine, like this. It's going to want to tip over. So instead, it's S-shaped, so it can take on, watch this, so it can take on the cushion and balance over the top of itself. Hey,
Terry.
No, Tink.
Oh, Tink.
You see what I'm saying? If something like this, it'll tip over. But if it's curved, it'll hold.
Yes,
Even if
I agree.
Even if it's like this and it tilts over, it'll find some sort of balance with gravity and stay there, and then all the straps barely have to work. But if it's S-shaped all the time, so don't lose your S-shape.
My leg, this part, seems to go too far when I
they're supposed to. That's how they work.
part.
They fold. If it's at all forward like that, I can't get my knees into my chest. It's stuck out there, so it has to be back to be able to fold and drop down. Then my whole spine is supported.
Look at me, I'm down here.
Okay, so there's one strap right here holding this up. Your whole spine tips forward. You got one strap. Hit it all, turns like this and crushes itself into itself and pulls out, right? But if it's at all dangling like that, it holds itself up. So it has to be in that curved motion as you drop in that direction. In this direction, yeah, it's differently, but as it goes that way, it has to be. Even if you, okay, so say you're like this, and you put something attached to that pulley, you want to tip over, right? So now I'm putting all kinds of tension on this shoulder. So if I'm going to raise this, my bone should fluctuate to curve in balance to support the bone structure, right? Because then all the muscles still barely have to work. Right. So every move you make should, I mean, if you stand on one leg, that was just calling me unbalanced. But if you stand on one leg, obviously your hip has to shift over and hold. You can't just muscle it up over there, so it has to shift. But if you shift, there's such a preciseness that if you shift and now your head's forward, if your head's tipped forward slightly.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, if you suddenly shift all the weight, everything in your body, all those bones, all the little things are going just in line, so you can do that.
Every motion you make, they all have to fluctuate just simply, because it's the hard matter that can't press up against itself and have no give. If you remove the body of all its bones, the muscles can smush and smush and smush and smush. But if you remove all the muscles, you can't smush the bones together. They have to pivot around themselves. So the muscles are pulley systems that reach and turn and rotate every joint to where it's supposed to go. If one muscle holds it back and the other one's tugging on it, it's a tug-of-war effect and it crushes the joints together. And then you start losing your cartilage. Bones start popping. So when bones pop, it doesn't feel good. So if my hips are forward like that and I want to squat down, I'm fighting to dislocate my pelvis right now because the greater toe catchers are like this. They're not like this. They turn out. So if you get that pelvis out, they get on the side and then they can come out. If they're stuck underneath there, they'll just jam at the pelvis has a big wall of a bone. If that doesn't get out of the way for that greater toe catcher to turn around, it starts jamming up against it and it's torquing the whole system of fluctuating. Like when somebody's got a rope and
bone, cartilage, etc.
Well, yeah, if somebody's got a rope and they're going to lasso a cow's ankles, and that rope's got to be perfectly. If there's one ripple in the rope, it'll smack up against the leg. Your bone structure is supposed to have a nice motion. If I took you by the foot, it could shake your whole body. If one muscle's holding, your body will look like that, and that means, well, who else is doing that? Not me. You got to find a way to let your bones fluctuate on the inside, and then you won't have pressure from the inside. If you got, say two things together like this, right? So if you got two things together and you got a strap from here to here and here to here, right? And this one, say, is the hinge joint like your elbow or your knee. So it pivots like this and like this. When this one engages, and this one engages, because muscles only pull, they can't push. Your body does the act of pushing, but that's a bunch of series of muscles pulling. So this muscle pulls this way, and a muscle only pulls towards its origin. So it starts and attaches, and this one pulls towards it. Not this one.
That's true. No muscle can push. They only pull.
Yeah, and then say I lassoed a chair or lassoed something that was like a cup over there. Would the cup come towards me, or would I go towards the cup?
Come towards you.
Right, because I'm the muscle pulling it towards me. So all muscles start like right here at the pelvis and go down and attach to here. And they cross this joint. They also cross this joint and cross this joint. The quad does. So when it engages, it pulls the bones in those directions. Right. So when the hamstring attaches, you can even see it attaches down here on this bone. So when it engages, it pulls this bone this way, but it also comes up here and attaches to the pelvis. So it also helps aid in turning the pelvis that way. So, but the glute is the biggest one that attaches to just this bone, and it goes and pulls this bone that way. So, if this is right here now, so if this is pulling towards here and this one's pulling towards here, and they're both tight, all it's going to do is jam this together. So say this one's much tighter and this one's much looser. Now you see the open area right here? That means the muscle's getting poked on the inside by the bone. That's where all your nerves and blood vessels are. It's not pinching on your blood vessels. It makes your heart pump harder to get the blood flow to the body, like putting a brick on a garden hose.
Yeah.
It doesn't have much water going to the garden until you get that brick up. But in turn, the pump's going to work harder. It's going to wear its gas out faster because it's slowing down but building up a whole bunch of pressure to get that blood flow through that now, just like the garden hose in the block. So now you got to replace the belts faster, replace the gas faster, but if you get that pressure off, then you can build up your cardiovascular. Don't build up your cardiovascular until you break your body down and get the pressure off all that and align those bones, then go for cardiovascular, because then it's ready to take on the whole pressure of the whole body. So these have to always be loose. If at any time it's like this, well then all the pressure is going to be on the next joint, because it's something where it's got to be able to bend. So when people freeze their hips, try to bend over and grab something, they go, oh, I blew something. I mean, your spine doesn't do that. It has to get that coccyx over, and then I'm over here doing things. It has to be turned this way, so that greater trochanter has to come out and around that pelvis. If it walks forward, you can't get around it. It'll jam into it. So that's why yours is perfect. Everybody should have more of that. They'll have less back problems.
All right, Brett, now we've gone into the more generic. What I liked is when we were sitting around, you were actually getting his mind inside his body, saying, you know, getting him, where should he be putting his mind? What should he be feeling right now in there?
Out of the gutter for sure. My mind's in the gutter
Education
right
is everything. Once you're educated, you can't go back on everything. Learning how to drive a Ferrari, if you don't know how to do it, I mean, if I jumped in a Ferrari, I wouldn't know how to crash the thing because I would roll all the gears because I don't know how to drive one.
I can figure it out fast.
Yeah, but if somebody laid it down for you before you went and sat with you and